Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and this is Top 5s, the only weekly top 5 show in snowboarding that you come to see which bindings are going to help you progress as a rider. On this week's episode I will be discussing the best 5 options for intermediate bindings for the 25-26 season. If you're looking to pick up anything that I mentioned in this video, make sure you're going down in that description and clicking those affiliate links. Number 5, the bent Metal Axtion. This binding is great for that progressing intermediate rider just because it can pretty much do anything and go anywhere. Now it's not going to be as stiff as the transfer and not as loosey-goosey as the joint, so it's kind of right in the middle there where this thing can still allow you to tweak, but when you're going heel toe you do get a nice response to it. You are going to have some molded straps on it, so don't expect to get any of that padding, but those straps are definitely going to help when it comes to response, especially for that heel to toe movement, but they're still going to allow a little bit lateral play there, so when you want to press, jib, do all of that stuff, you're more than welcome to. It makes it a little bit easier for you where it doesn't feel like this binding is just keeping you straight up locked in and pretty much just stuck where you're at. It allows you to have a little bit of forgiveness and a little bit more fun out there. Also, another great feature about this binding is it's very easy to use. You have very minimal moving parts to it. If you need to adjust the forward lean, there's a cube on the back that you can just twist so you don't have to deal with the flip tab that you might end up breaking. So since there are so few moving parts on it, there's going to be less stuff you have to tighten periodically. Number 4 is the Union Strata. This binding is great for that intermediate rider just because it is coming in at a great price point and you're getting some trickle down tech from previous generations or higher end models as well. So first off, that ankle strap is going to be coming from the Ultra, which got a new strap this year, so they just trickled it down, giving you a little bit more fluid movement of the strap, where before you had a giant section missing out of it, making it a little bit softer where you didn't have all that material. This year, it's just a little bit more pretty much fluid in the movement that you get, where heel toe it feels really nice, side to side you're still gonna get some more play out of it. You're also gonna have a new toe strap on it this year that I believe it grips the boot just a little bit better. If you need a little bit more information on this binding, you should watch Avran's review because he pretty much raved about this thing. But the high back is gonna be stiffer, so you don't have to worry about having that giant footbed on it that really wants to roll back and forth with the board and allow it to flex really smoothly. This high back's gonna help you pretty much just stay on top of your game, where you can still tweak with it no problem, but that toe to heel movement, it's gonna be nice and responsive. So you still get a little play with this thing, but you do get a nice bit of response as well. Number 3, the Salomon EDB Prime. This binding is just a major step up from the regular EDB, where you get an upgraded strap and high back, and then also dampening under the binding as well. So you do have a slight dead spot with this because of the larger disc, but don't really be too concerned with that because you still get nice dampening with this binding, and it does flex a little bit towards the top more than the bottom. So this binding is going to be great for that all mountain rider where they just really want to take this thing anywhere, but they need a little bit more response and a little bit more dampness to their ride, where if they were just to get the regular EDB, they might be just a little bit too high level for it, where they're going to be charging, they're going to be getting all of that chatter resonating through the board up to their legs. And with this, it's not the case. There is a little air cushion underneath the heels, giving it a little bit more forgiveness, making this binding great for intermediates, especially because you do get that response where when you're really driving into turns, it's definitely going to help that and not just feel super loosey-goosey. While I have you here, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. Number 2 is the Ride C6. Some of you might be asking, why isn't it the drone? Well, the C6 just cuts down on chatter just a little bit better, and it's just going to be a little bit more user-friendly, where I don't believe everybody needs to have an aluminum binding, especially if you're a smaller person or somebody that's just not really absolutely trying to charge the whole mountain out there. They want to take it off, have a little bit more of a comfort ride ride, that's what they're getting with this binding. This thing has been in the line for multiple years, and it is a great selling binding, and it's just nice and comfy, where you do get that full foam underneath the binding and then underneath your foot as well, so it really cuts down on chatter, and it's super easy to use, where it's just 2 screws. You can slide that heel cup forward or back. It does give you a little chart on the side, so don't take that as just true for word. It all depends on your boot, so just make sure that you're just getting it totally centered and ready to go. But the straps on this binding are great. They have upgraded the strap since it originally came out, so you don't really have to worry about those new strap jitters. These ones are dialed in, where that toe strap, it fits really well. On most boots, it fit my square toe box really well, where in the past, it kind of got a little sloppy. This year, it's just a little bit better. Same with that ankle strap. It does have a nice big ankle strap on it, so when you ratchet that thing down, don't expect to get any padding from it, but it'll just distribute that weight and that pressure nicely, so it'll cut down on as much as it can. You do have a little bit stiffer of a high back on it. I'd say it's slightly stiffer than the middle of the road, but not by much, so it's a great binding to really go anywhere and do anything with. Honorable mentions. Remember, these are all great options for intermediate bindings. They just weren't able to crack our top 5 this year. The first honorable mention is the K2 formula. This binding has been in their line forever, pretty much as long as I can remember, and there's a reason for it. It is a meat and potatoes binding. It's got really no extra bells and whistles to it. It's just got what it needs to get you down the mountain. It's got a nice low profile toe strap and a molded ankle strap, which is new for I think past couple of years, where before it was that padded strap, which is nice and comfortable, doesn't provide the most support out there, so they just kind of remedied that with this one, where you get a little bit more support, a little less padding to it. The second honorable mention is the 32 team FASE binding, where this binding is awesome, especially if you don't need something super stiff or super soft. You just need a binding that's got a fast entry system, and you know that it is going to just meet up to your performance standards. This binding does have that FASE system to it, where you step in, the high back pops back, pretty much just like the one here, but it's just gonna have that composite chassis to it. So it's gonna allow a little bit more looseness, especially when it comes to that lateral movement, than say something with an aluminum chassis or a metal chassis to it. But the main thing about this binding is how well it works pretty much all mountain, and how easy it is to get in and out once you've mastered it. And for me, it only took me a couple runs to really get it dialed in. Once you get that toe fixed properly and just in the perfect position, it's not going anywhere. You can just step in, step out, and you're all good to go. And the final honorable mention is the Nitro One. This binding is great for an intermediate because it does have a little extra padding in the heel there. It does have some air ride, so if you are on uneven terrain or just super chattery, icy stuff, you're not gonna feel it quite as much underneath your heels. And it also helps really well if you're just hitting that medium or smaller line. Send it a little bit too far and just land flat. It's gonna help your knees in the long run for sure, where you're not gonna feel it quite as much. This binding does have a low profile toe strap, and it's gonna have a molded strap this year. So if you have one from a few years ago, you had that nice padded strap. This year they went for a little bit more performance than comfort on it, and in my opinion, and in Avran's, we both like it a lot more. Remember guys, these are all great viable options. They just weren't able to crack the top 5 this year. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. And the #1 intermediate binding for the 25-26 season is the Rome 390 Boss asymmetrical wrap. So the reason we chose the asymmetrical wrap version as opposed to the full heel wrap is you just get a little bit more play with it, a little bit more lateral movement, making it great for that intermediate rider. When you're an intermediate, you don't really want to be totally locked in all the time, just because you need to really have some of that movement out there. Just like being a beginner, you're gonna make some mistakes out there. You're not gonna be making as many as a beginner is, so you need a little bit of play there. But don't be too concerned, because that high back really helps keep this binding locked in, where heel toe movements, you're doing great. Laterally, you still get a little play, so if you're learning how to tweak grabs or just shift your weight into turns, it's definitely gonna help you there. And with that asymmetrical wrap, it's gonna allow you to push some power to the center of the board. As you can see right here, this is another asymmetrical version, but you do have that inner chassis, so that's gonna help you drive power to the center and let you just still press and shift that weight to the outside when you need to. The main feature about this binding that we really love is that it does cut down on chatter and vibration like no one's business. It might be one of the most damp bindings out there. It's probably the dampest on this list, and that is awesome, especially when you are an intermediate rider, because you just want to stay out there. You love what you're doing, because I mean, you've made it to this point, so you might as well keep going. And it's really gonna help you just ride longer. It's cutting down on all those vibrations, just making your life a lot better. And it does have a great toe and an ankle strap that they really stretch, just like this one does. It's just gonna be nice and stretchy for you, so it'll mold around any toe box, whether it be square, round, or even if you don't have one really, it'll still pretty much just mold around anything for you, and it feels nice and comfortable where I never got any pressure points with it. And as always guys, I've been your host TC, and this has been the top 5 best intermediate bindings for the 25-26 season. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite intermediate bindings are or what you're gonna be rocking this year.